Hello YouTube. Today I would like to talk about Game of Thrones, as I've been talking about for a couple of videos now, but I would like to go back a bit and talk about a controversial figure from the earlier seasons. And that character is the Highsparrow. I feel that he is a controversial figure both like in the world, inside the world of Game of Thrones, where a lot of people are, shall we say, upset with him. And he's also seems to be a very controversial figure among fans. I saw a lot of people who are like really happy when Cersei blew him up. And I saw a lot of people in comment sections and so on calling him a hypocrite. And, well, hypocrite is a word that a lot of people use as a standard insult against a religious person they don't like. But what is a hypocrite really? Well, a hypocrite is someone who teaches something. I need to realize where my hands are, but live in another way. One really good example of this is the High Septon, who was High Septon before the Highsparrow, who preaches about how the gods are so holy and so on, but they find him in a brothel, surrounded by prostitutes dressed up like the gods he claimed to serve and revere. That's hypocrisy. Another example from the show is Tywin Lannister, when he tells Tyrion, "I will kill the next whore I find in your bed," and doing such things, taking a prostitute into the Tower of the Hand is a disgrace, and on and on and on he goes. And then Tyrion finds Shay in Tywin's bed. Well, that's hypocrisy. You say one thing, but you do another. You try to make people live in one way that you don't want to live in. We never see the High Sparrow do anything like that. He don't preach frugality and humbleness to his followers and then dress himself in super fancy clothes and hold great banquets. He don't talk about like sexual moral, virtue, and so on, or something like that, and then have a couple of prostitutes in his chambers all the time. We don't see him do any of those things ever. He seems to be preaching frugality and charity, and we never see him in anything else but the most simple clothes, barefoot, many times helping with giving out food to the poor. And we never see him. He just have a pretty moralist view on sexual questions, but we never see him break those views. Also, he don't try to exalt himself as like the great prophet of from the gods or something like that. He is the leader of the High Sparrows. No, he is the High Sparrow. He's the leader of the Sparrows, but he never seems to want to claim an authority above the seven-pointed star or their version of the Bible. Now, of course, we don't know what thoughts go through his mind. Maybe he has some really dirty fantasies about little boys or something. We don't know. We don't know what he's thinking, and we don't know what he does off camera. Maybe he do really bad things when we don't see him, or things that break his code, so to speak. But nothing from anything we are shown in the show. Nothing there indicates that he is a hypocrite. Now, I don't say that, wow, this guy is perfect. I would really love him as president of our world. No, he is, as I said, he is a moralist. Arguably, you could also absolutely call him a fanatic. He proposes corporeal punishment and shame punishment for stuff like adultery and even worse for homosexuality. So he's clearly a moralist and a homophobe and so on. But that's pretty standard in the world where he lives, isn't it? It is a medievalish world, and you will have and a lot of people have very narrow-minded views and so on. So that's not really what makes him controversial or special, is it? I would argue that what makes the Highsparrow so controversial, both in his world and among fans and viewers, is that he's actually one of very few truly revolutionary characters in the TV show or the book series. Because he's not just interested in putting, his guy on the Iron Throne or getting himself on the Iron Throne. He wants to change the way the realm works, the way Westeros works. This far in the series, we have seen Westeros working as a pretty corrupted feudal monarchy, where the Lord's word is the law in his domain, and the king's word is the law of the realm. For example, Roose Bolton, when he talks to his son Ramsay Bolton, he tells Ramsay that, well, your mother married a man without my consent, so I hanged him from a tree and raped her underneath that tree. And if I'm not wrong, this is supposed to have happened under the watchful eye of Ned Stark. And not that Ned Stark was there, but he was the lord of that area at that time, but because Roose Bolton was a lord, and those two people were just low-born commoners. No one intervened because that was his domain, and his word was law there. Also, we see Joffrey do a bunch of truly bestialic and brutal things, and no one intervenes because he's the king, so he can do whatever he wants. But the Highsparrow don't buy that. What he proposes, or I feel like he's trying to build, is what could pretty much be described as a feudal constitutional monarchy. where there would be a division of power between the faith and the crown. The faith and crown are the two pillars of the realm. One cannot stand without the other. There would be a constitution, kind of, based on the seven-pointed star, and also it seems like traditions from before the Targaryen conquest. And most importantly, maybe, a principle of equality before the law, where people who break the law will be put on trial before 7 septons and will be judged by their actions, not if they are highborn or lowborn. And that's what scares and upsets Tyrells and the Lannisters and all the other high houses so much. He says that no matter what you are born like, you should be judged, you're equal before the gods. I think that a very good quote from the Highsparrow that I would like to end this video is when Olenna Tyrell comes to visit him and she asks him, "What do you want? Do you want gold? I can give you gold." And he says, "I guess it's confusing for you because you are so used to people having a hidden agenda. I must imagine that it is confusing for you to meet someone who actually just want to do the will of the gods." I'm not sure if I got that quote perfectly, but it's something like that. So, the Highsparrow was not a hypocrite. Actually, he was a bit of a revolutionary. Peace out.